Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shifts. My name is Michael Ojola for Mindset Transformation Africa. And on today's episode, I read a statement on Instagram. I said, okay, let me bring it to you and we talk about it. And I add value to it, you learn from it. It adds value to you and you grow. All right. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. The small steps you will take are immeasurably better than the big one you keep putting off. The small steps you will take are immeasurably better than the big one that you keep putting off. So today, that is what I want us to talk about. I want to start by asking you this. How many times have you put off something important because you are waiting for the perfect moment, or because you felt overwhelmed by the size of the task, or maybe deep down you are just afraid you might fail? We've all been there, okay? We've all experienced this, and this is the harsh truth. Those perfect moments almost never come. Waiting for them keeps us stuck, while the life we want moves further and further out of reach. So today's conversation is about breaking that cycle. It's about embracing the power of small, consistent actions and realizing that those little steps can take you further than any monumental leap you are too scared to make. So let's just talk about one or two things. Why do we keep putting off big steps? That's the first question I want us to answer. I think it's because of some fears. Number one is the fear of failure. It's the fear of failure. One of the biggest reasons that we procrastinate on big goals is fear. Fear that we will fall short, fear that we are not ready, fear that we will embarrass ourselves. See, the irony is avoiding the goal doesn't eliminate the fear. Eventually, it amplifies it. The longer we wait, the bigger the task seems, and the more intimidating the task becomes. Another reason is perfectionism. How many of us we tell ourselves all the time, I'll start when I have everything figured out. Oh, it has to be perfect before I can begin. See, perfectionism is often disguised as a virtue, but in reality, it is a trap. It convinces us that taking no action is better than taking imperfect action. And that is not true. This is the thing. Perfection is a myth. Progress, not perfection, is what moves the needle. It is what creates the change that we are gunning for. It's what makes things happen. Progress makes things happen, not perfection. And also, overwhelm. We feel overwhelmed. And that's why we put off the big things. When a task feels enormous, it is easy to get overwhelmed. All right? You don't know where to start, so you don't start at all. But here's the thing. Big goals are almost never achieved in a single step. Most of the big goals you want to achieve is not going to happen when you take one step. It's a series of steps that you must take to achieve it eventually. There are the results. Big goals that you achieve are the result of many small steps that compounded over time. And that leads us to the power of small steps. See, if you take nothing else away from this episode, let it be this. Small steps are the secret to achieve big things. Small steps are the secret to achieve big things. If you've not learned anything today, learn that thing. That small steps are the secret to achieve big things. The first thing is small steps build momentum. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to get started? But once you do, things start to flow. That is the power of momentum. When you take even the tiniest action towards your goal, you create energy, you create movement. That movement builds confidence, and that confidence makes the next step easier. Think of it like pushing a car. The hardest part is to get the car to even budge from a standstill position. But once it's moving, it takes far less effort to keep it going. And that is exactly what I want you to think about your goals. The most difficult aspect of your goal is to get it moving. But the moment you are able to get it moving, even if it's just a little bit, you will discover that you build momentum. Also, small steps reduce the level of overwhelm that you feel. When you break a big goal into smaller manageable steps, it becomes less intimidating. Let's say, for example, your goal is to write a book. The thought of writing 300 pages might feel paralyzing, but what if you committed to writing just one page in a day? In less than a year, you would have written a full manuscript. Breaking it down makes it doable. And that's what I want you to take away today. Breaking your goals down into small, tiny steps that you can accomplish in a sitting makes it doable. And also, small steps create habits. See, big one-time actions might create temporary results, but small, repeated actions will create the lasting change that you are looking for. When you are able to use your small steps to create a pattern in your life, you discover that there is nothing too big that you cannot handle. When you focus on small steps, you are not just working towards a goal. No, you are building habits. And habits are what determine your long-term success. It is your habits that you build over time that determine your long-term success. I want you to think about the compound effect of small steps, all right? Think about it like this. If you improved just 1% every day, by the end of a year, you would be 37 times better than when you started. 37 times better than when you started. That's the magic of compound interest. That is the magic of compounding. Here's a real world example, all right? Let's just paint a scenario. Imagine you want to get in shape. You don't need to spend 2 hours at a gym on day one. Start with 10 minutes of exercise, then move it to 15 minutes, then move it to 20 minutes. And over time, those small efforts add up to a healthier, stronger body. And let's say you want to save money. You don't need to overhaul your entire budget overnight and start saving. Just start saving. Oh, let me start saving 90% of my money. Don't. Eventually, you will not be able to maintain it. Start by saving maybe 500 naira or $5. Just save a little in a day. Pick an amount and consistently save that amount in a day. By the end of the year, you would have saved, like, if you save $1 or $5 in a day, by the end of the year, you would have saved around 1,800, if my math is correct, or 1,000, around 1,800. Just by taking a small, consistent action every single day. The compound effect is proof that small steps are not insignificant. They are, in fact, the building blocks of success. So today, ask yourself, what small steps can I take today that will move me towards where I'm going to? So how do you even start taking small steps? I think you need to first define your goal. You need to define the goal you want to achieve. Be clear about what you want to achieve. Ambiguity will breed inaction. Don't be ambiguous. Define your goal. Be clear. For example, instead of saying I want to get healthier, say I want to walk 10,000 steps a day, or I want to eat one vegetable every meal. And then you break down those goals. Take your big goal and break it down into smaller, actionable steps. If your goal is to start a business, your first step might be researching your industry. The next step might be writing a business plan. The step after that might be registering your business one step at a time. The next step might now be sourcing for capital to start one step at a time. And also, you start small. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do too much at once. Start with the smallest actionable steps. Start with the smallest action possible. If your goal is to declutter your home, start with one drawer. If your goal is to learn a new skill, start with 10 minutes of practice every single day. And also, finally, be consistent about the steps you are taking. Consistency is more important than intensity, okay? It is better to take small steps every day than to take one giant leap and burn out. You need to remember that success is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. You need to shift your mind. Ultimately, embracing small steps requires a mindset shift. It is about letting go of the need for immediate result and trusting the process. See, here is the powerful mantra I want you to keep in mind and go with today. Progress over perfection. Repeat that to yourself. Progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. The small steps you will take are